Hey, it's Gareth Flood here, and today I'm going to talk about who is on your board. So I'm going to explain what this concept is, how it can massively improve your life in terms of your career development, your personal development, your business, and also your mindset. And I will give you some suggestions of people you should consider to be on your board. So stick around till the end for that. So, where does this concept come from? It comes from three quotes that have really stuck with me throughout my entire life. You have a few impactful quotes that are always in your mind, and these are three that came from me. The first one was that you are the sum of the people that you spend 90% of your time with. The second, somebody once said to me, show me your top 5 friends and I will tell you your future. And the third is the most important decision that you will make in your life is who you spend time with, because who you spend time with is who you become. Now that one is certainly true for your spouse or your life partner. 100%. The most important decision you will ever make is who you marry. But it's wider than that. What are these three quotes actually talking about? They're talking about your peer group. Who you spend time with is who you become. It's about who you're spending time with, who is your peer group, who's influencing you, who are you listening to, who are you taking advice from. And an extreme example of this is, let's look at the Marines. So the US Marines in America, or the Royal Marines in the UK. Some of the guys who are in the Marines come from troubled neighborhoods, troubled backgrounds, troubled communities. Not all of them, but some of them. And then you look at them as a unit and as a peer group. They're absolutely crushing it every day. Up early, physical exercise, absolute physical stud specimens, doing amazing things, amazing skills in terms of engineering, leadership, teamwork, all operating all together, every single person at the highest level. Why? Because that's the peer group. If you don't operate at that level, you're out. You don't make it. So while they're in there, they're just operating at absolutely the highest level. Then when they leave, some drift back down. They don't operate at that highest level again. Sometimes they'll go back to their towns, back to their communities, back to their environments, back to their old peer groups, and they never hit that high level again. Why? Because they were 100% immersed in just a kick-ass peer group. So that's a good example. Now, you might think, well, what does this mean? If I'm in a community or a situation or a town or a place or whatever, my peer group isn't that great. How do I get out of it? Like this, I'm stuck, right? This is the people I know. This is my family. What do I do? Now, in a world of bad news, here is the good news. Everything is now on your smartphone or your tablet or your computer, but primarily your smartphone. I mean, I've traveled all over the world, all over Asia, even in like the poorest countries, people still have smartphones and everything is on there now. And I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. So I studied marketing, and when I decided I wanted to do marketing, before everything was up on the phone, I basically had to go to a place of learning. So I felt I had to go to university. Why? Because that's where the knowledge was. I had to go there. It was in the lecturers' heads. They would tell it to me. I would listen. I would write it down. They would give me assignments to test that the knowledge, they would impart the knowledge to me. I would do all these assignments to test that I understood it. And there was a feedback loop. And if I got enough right, they passed me and I felt qualified, and they would give me a certificate to go out and talk about this stuff. Now, in the world of marketing, as an example, you do not need to go to university. It's all out there on the internet today. Same for things like sales, leadership, teamwork. It's all out there. Now, don't get me wrong here, some things you still need to be qualified for. If you're going to build a bridge over a port, you should be a qualified structural engineer. So things like, in certain cases, engineers, doctors, etc., you still need to be highly qualified. But for some things, marketing, as an example, the only reason I went to university because you had to, you didn't have any other choice. You could go and buy a book and try and read it yourself, very, very difficult. That was the shortcut. Now, you can follow and get hold of everybody and just learn marketing yourself if you're committed enough. Another good example is let's take the world of investing. So when I was in my early 20s, I wanted to start investing. And who's the greatest investor in the world? Warren Buffett, obviously. So Warren Buffett and all of the investors, before everything was online, were just kind of these mythical creatures, celebrities that did magical things, and nobody knew how they did it because they didn't really impart it, or they would go to a college lecture or an opening and say some things, but you never saw that. So again, I wanted to learn about Warren Buffett. I had to go to Barnes & Noble, had to buy a book for like $30, which was a huge amount of money for me at the time. I tried to read it. It was too high pitched. I didn't understand 80% of it. I didn't learn much. Now, everything about Warren Buffett is online. All of his shareholder presentations, his company general meetings, his shareholder letters going back 40 years, it's all there. You can watch all the words from the mouth of the man himself to know exactly how he thinks. And then there's an army of people that have codified it and made it simple. Many of them are on YouTube that can tell you, this is how he thinks, this is how he does things, this is how he invests, and here's a value investing template that you can download and use to start investing just like Buffett. It's all available to you. Another great example. So what does this have to do with who is on your board? So here's the thing. You have a board whether you know it or not. And the analogy comes from the board of a company. Every company has a board of directors who should be people from various backgrounds, all highly qualified, that give advice and steer the company to future success. So they're the directors, they make the big decisions on the influence, and they guide the company to bigger and better things. So normally, there's a boardroom, a board table, this is where it comes from. They all sit around here, they meet monthly, quarterly, whatever, review everything, make good decisions to take us to a brighter future. So you have a board. So let's say there is you. Now, who are the other people on your board influencing you? And again, we go back to the topic of peer group. It could be your peer group, it could be your family, your friends, but you have people on your board, which maybe you didn't choose. And the choice is here, it's not to say you get rid of your family or cut ties. You can't do that in many cases, nor would you want to in many cases. But you do have the option of, if you're spending all of your time with them, I can spend less time listening to you, and I can choose who I do want to spend time and advice from. So, don't take advice on investing from somebody who's never invested and has positive returns, got results from investing. Don't take marketing advice from somebody who hasn't done it and got great results in the marketing game. So if these are the people you're taking advice from now and they're not qualified and it's not good advice and they've not done it themselves, this is where the concept comes in. Because if you previously in the old world, these were the 5 top people around you, that was that. It was hard to get access to who it is. But with the magic of your smartphone, you can decide who is on your board and you can fill it up. So instead of awful news, of notifications and scrolling, filling it up, you can ditch most of those and you can fill it up with notifications and insights and YouTube videos and news stories of these people, and it just saturates your mind, and this is who you're in a constant conversation with. So mark who is on your board now and decide who you want off the board and who you want to put in instead. And to make this process simple, you can break it down further into 3 categories. everything in life and in business can also be broken down to the topics of basically health, wealth, and relationships. Health, wealth, and relationships. Everything can be broken down into these categories. So, who's influencing you there at the moment? Health. There's plenty of people you can find on general health, or if you want something specific, if you specifically want to lose weight, or you specifically want to keep the weight off, or you specifically want to build muscle, you can find people that have done it and are sharing that knowledge to you. So I'll give you one example here. I've had significant knee problems over the last few years, and then I found a guy called Ben Franklin, also known as the knees over toes guy. And he was great. Listened to him, he's qualified, got the results, followed all his videos, fixed my knees. Fantastic. He is on my board for health. Another one around health I would include is mindset. So another great one there is a guy called Jocko Willink. So Jocko was a leader of a SEAL team. So there you are, you have a leader of a SEAL team imparting everything that's required to lead and dominate and win on the battlefield and also in life. And you learn just so many great things from these guys, including the virtues of discipline and hard work. So that's 2 examples in health, but get 2 to 5 of people you want to follow to fix your mindset and fix your body and get healthy and get energized. In wealth, I've already mentioned Warren Buffett. Another great one to follow is Ray Dalio. If you don't know him, he's the world's most successful hedge fund manager of all time, worth about $13 billion. But he's reached a stage in his life, he's in his 70s, he wants to give back to the world, and he is openly sharing everything of how he has been a success and what to do. So he's written 2 books, one's called Principles and the other's called The Changing World Order, which tells you this is a blueprint for success, what to do, and here's the future world that's coming. And it doesn't get any better than that. Actively just sharing everything without expecting anything in return, just giving back. And there's a lot of great entrepreneurs are doing this now. I mean, they previously did it before, because the best entrepreneurs and the best people in the world realize you have to give so much value into the world to get value back. But also, once you're rich, what do? You just want to make the world a better place. So they're openly sharing what they know. So you find these people. And then if you want to get specific, you can also find specific things on like investing. So like I'll give you a couple I use. There's a guy called Sven Karlin on YouTube. Great for learning about how to invest with a value investing framework. There's another guy, he runs a channel called New Money. He's an Aussie guy, young guy, but he breaks things down really nice and simply. I can't remember his name, apologies for that. Other wealth people, if you want to get started, there's still the classics, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Someone worth listening to on your board. And also on wealth, once you set the basics, so you can get Robert Kiyosaki, he will tell you the basics. Hey, this is how a P&L works, this is how money flows. Buffett, Dalio, you can get specific on investing, Carlin, New Money. And then for your own business, you can find dedicated people when you want to niche or niche it down. So say you want to learn about copywriting, then you can find a guy like Jim Edwards, specifically on copywriting. And then myself, I'm in here playing the game on marketing, helping you complete your marketing plan to a higher level. You can find general and then you can find specific. Whatever you need, find these people, find that they're trusted advisors, put them on your board. And same thing for relationships, depending what you want out of relationships. There's plenty of people, but again, find what they've done, show that it's proven, and then off you go. So it's a very powerful concept. You can shift, which I've done it. I've completely shifted what is on my phone and what is coming through my phone. So instead of spending time with maybe people who weren't empowering me or getting me to where I wanted to go, I'm spending most of my time in my day with my phone. I'm spending time with these people. You actually spend time with these people, watching their lectures, watching their videos, engaging with them. Many will engage directly back with you. And that is the power of the concept of who is on your board. You decide who you spend time with. Where do you really want to focus? Health, wealth, relationships? Find somebody who's got the result that you want and put them on your board. And the last thing is, again, get people who have done it. Always it comes back to discipline and hard work. There's a common theme from all of these people, but you learn more specifically how to do what they've done, but there are shortcuts. They'll get you there quicker, but you can never get around the discipline and hard work. There's no getting around it. Whatever you want to do in life, whatever result you want to achieve, you find the people who have done it. They've done the work. You have to do the work. There's no getting around that. But put in your board, put in who you want on your board, depending on where you want to go in your life, and then review it every year. Start spending time with these people and watch your life change. It's a very powerful concept to change your life, your mentality, your business, your physical body, your relationships. So I hope that's useful for you. Other topics you'd like to know about, let me know in the comments below and we can do future videos. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.